Hola. What's up, people? How you doing? I know I missed yesterday, but if you were here on Friday, you knew that I was going to miss yesterday because I had to take a day off. Yeah, it turns out we have these days that the company gives us. It's like one random day a year, and you could take it whenever you want. Only none of us realized it, and if you don't take it, you stop accruing it at like 1.5. So all of us had like 1.5 of these like random days to take. So we all just took them real quick, hoping that we'll get the other 0.5 day back before the end of the year. But yeah, so that's why I wasn't here on Monday. And then I ended up basically it ended up being a sick day. This is crazy, right? I took the whole weekend because I thought on Saturday I was taking my mom to this play to see my nephew, and it turns out no, I'm not. I wasn't. But here's how like out of it I have been lately. So I got up Saturday morning, got all my ducks in a row, was like half hour from leaving to pick up my mom. And so I called her because she, like me, is always late and she is notoriously not ready to go, much like me. And I was like, better make sure she's ready to go. So I call her and I'm like, hey, mom, you almost ready? And she's like, ready to what? And I was like, to go see Ben's play. And she's like, what? She's like, but I don't think is that today? And then I made my poor mom panic. She's like, oh my God, that's today. And I was like, yeah, it's today. I'm leaving soon. And I was this close to gaslighting my mom into getting ready, like on the fly, so that I could pick her up in like an hour to drive to Pacifica to see my nephew's play. And she goes, I think that's on the 16th. And I was like, how could it be? Because the whole, like at the same time I bought the tickets for the play, I got them because the same afternoon they're going to be doing the Soundwaves TV filming, and I was going to swing by. Hey, Justine. So I was like, wait, so is the Soundwaves thing today and then the play is the 16th, or is it vice versa, or what's going on? And I was like, okay, hold on a second, mom. And I opened up all my emails and I was wrong about both. This is how cracked out I've been lately, I guess. Both of those things are on the 16th. And I 100% thought both of those things were last Saturday. So I was like, ready to go do it all. Hey, Mike. And yeah, no. Nope. It's not till November 16th. So the good news is I didn't miss anything and I wasn't late for anything. I was just about to be super early. Yeah. And then yeah, so I was like, well, now that I've got a weekend off, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to not tell anyone because clearly I need the fucking rest. Does that say Golan? Is that your actual name? Is it Golan? Am I saying that right? Golan, are you friends with Sharn? Umberto, what's up? Hey, Dan. I'm glowing? No, I'm not. I'm definitely not glowing. Maybe there's a lighting issue happening. Golan, that's correct. I'm saying it right because I love unusual names. Rad, dude. Welcome. Aw, thanks, Lori. Yeah, it is for reals, dude. I'll tell you what, Lori, I needed the sleep. And I ended up sleeping so much this weekend. It's ridiculous because so I was like, well, I got to do laundry, I got to meal prep, and I got a ton of yard work to do. And that doesn't even touch like the wardrobe organization project that we're not talking about right now. And so so I started Saturday, excuse me, doing the laundry, and the weather was a little cold, right? I don't know if anybody knows this, but my dryer is like 30 years old. I never use it. I hang everything up to dry because I live in Concord and there's almost always plenty of time, right? So, but because the weather turned, shit wasn't drying on the line in like 45 minutes like it usually does. So it took me 2 days to get through the laundry on account of I had to wait for stuff to dry. And so I was doing I was like cleaning up because a bunch of stuff had just been like piling up, just clutter everywhere, stuff that just didn't get put away because I was busy. So I finally got all of that cleaned up because my kitchen was a shit show. I was like, how am I even gonna cook in here? It's like there's stuff everywhere. It's crazy. And then I started on the yard work and then I went to bed early. I watched most of the Penguin. I had gotten like 3 or 4 episodes into the Penguin, and now I've got 1 episode left of the Penguin, and then went to bed early. And then my buddy came over with his guys to upgrade some stuff on my house. And when they finished, we went across the street and got taqueria, which was awesome. And then they left, and I was like, and I've got the whole day. So I just did yard work. So that Monday when I woke up, I was like, I am so glad I don't have to go to work today. This is amazing. I am going to sleep more. But I got up and I finished the laundry and I started doing more yard work. And then I took a break for lunch to eat my leftover taqueria. And my legs and my back were hurting after all that yard work. So I took a pain pill with lunch and ended up being so fucked up and so sick. I just took one and I took it with food and everything. Like there was no reason for it. Spent the whole rest of the day in bed. Yesterday, I went to bed at 2 p.m. I was sick, like could not get up and be upright, sick. Like I couldn't even watch TV, sick. Until like 8, 9 o'clock. It was like having dental surgery without the dental problems. Just that Vicodin sick, How do people get addicted to these pills? I can't even take one in the way that you're supposed to take it for the back pain. I was like, I'm still a little queasy today. I couldn't eat dinner. I had some crackers. I literally had a seltzer and some crackers for dinner last night. And then I went back to bed. I got up, I ate some crackers, I went back to bed. And I woke up at 9:30 today, you guys. No, 8:30. Because time difference, right? But yeah. That's how fucking tired I was. Harry, what's happening, man? Hey, Kevin. If I ever need help with yard work, well, now you fucking tell me. Justine, you sure the Penguin isn't what you think? Oh, it's not about penguins, honey. No, it's a spin-off from the Batman movie. Yeah. It's like a crime boss thing. Rodney, did I say hi yet? Oh, yeah. Yeah, seriously, Mike, the Penguin is really good. Oh yeah, thanks, Stevie. Durr. Now I know. You know what? I've had these pain pills for years now, and typically I will take one and be just fine and keep working the rest of the afternoon sans pain. This is the first time I've ever had this like crazy reaction to it. So, but apparently things have changed and ibuprofen is all I can handle now. Oh, Pandora, honey, how are you? Yeah, does the Vicodin make you sick now? Never in my life have I had trouble with it. Dan, why would you have peanut butter and cream cheese together? That sounds kind of gross. But yeah, thanks, Stevie. Yeah, I'm going to do the ibuprofen next time for sure. Yeah, and I was going to take just a hot bath, but I was so like barfy that there was no way I was getting in hot water. I had to wait till I could take a shower this morning. I was gross. So gross. Ooh, Lori, that sounds awful. Hi, Jimmy. How you doing? That's okay, Kevin. I appreciate the offer. Yeah, you know what, Mike? Apparently I'm that person now. So no more of that. I mean, I can't remember the last time I took one. You know, I mean, I'll have like a month's prescription because I have had back problems in the past. And a month's prescription will last me like a couple of years. You know, I just take it whenever it like gets bad. And it got bad, but oof, nothing is that bad. Hey, Nicholas. Hey, Brian. Is PJ here? I haven't seen him tap in. Is he lurking? Oh, maybe he's lurking and driving. Be careful out there, buddy. It's getting dark early. I don't want you like, you know, feeling like you got to tap in. You know what, Dan? I don't really do the animated shows. I mean, it's not that I don't like animated shows. I like some animated shows. Like I love Rick and Morty, but I don't like serious animation. If that makes sense. See, like even now my stomach is still just like ah. Oh, it always made you sick, Pandora? Yeah, no, I used to have no problems with it at all, ever. And well, that has since changed apparently. You know, they say you can develop allergies at any time, and it seems like I have developed an allergy to Vicodin. No more. You know what, Rodney? I don't think there's nothing else for it to have reacted with. You know, I don't take. I'm not one of those meds people, so I don't take anything regularly. I don't even have ibuprofen. I'm gonna have to go buy some now. I hardly ever take anything except like vitamins. I'll tell you what, Matthew, I'm feeling pretty fucking good about that. You know, wasn't I saying all last week? I really hope that the bye week gets a lot of these guys off the bench because that's what we need. And I have my fingers crossed that we're going to go into this game against the Bucks fresh with these guys off the bench, and it's going to give them the momentum that they need to bring home the W this weekend that will kind of turn the tide of what's been happening in the locker room this season. I don't expect miracles, but I have hope. Yeah, you know what, Harry? Maybe they have become toxic because they're old. I don't know. I'll have to double check. Well, I don't need a hot tub so much, Stevie, is because I have a giant tub in my bathroom. And it's like a 2-person tub. So it's basically I have a hot tub. It's just also a bathtub. But it's awesome. Takes like 20 minutes to fill it, but when it's full, it stays hot for hours. And then I'll just like binge watch some shit on my laptop because I've got like Bluetooth speakers in the ceiling of the bathroom. So it's basically like instead of a hot tub, it's like a 3-hour bubble bath. But that's what I was gonna do last night, but nope. Could not get out of bed. You're good? You're just finishing work and no watching news? Yeah, you know what, guys? I'll be honest. I turned on the news. Well, I didn't turn on the news because I can't stand the local news. I can only watch international news. But I pulled up like the results as they were coming in just to see what popped right at the 5 o'clock when the polls closed on the East Coast. But everything is just still kind of up in the air. And, you know, until those swing states start coming in. I mean, nobody remembers last time, but last time, remember we were all waiting for fucking Nevada? Nevada was like hand counting slow. It popped up in my memories today on Facebook. This just like massive meme bomb of like memes about why Nevada's 50th in education. So of course it's going to take them longer to count their votes kind of thing. So that's why I decided to pop on the live. And even though I don't really want to talk about the election, I definitely need some election avoidance. And I think everybody does. I think we're fucking exhausted at this point and just hoping that sanity prevails. PJ, I don't need you to pick out a wetsuit for me. I already know what I want. I want the same one I got. Oh, I'm glad you're doing okay, Lori. That's scary. Walking First Street and looking at a sunset. Really? The sun is way down, Brett. Funniest story with a celebrity? Ah, can you narrow it down? I don't know. I'm terrible at multiple choice. I'm better with multiple choice. Did I say multiple choice? I'm terrible at fill in the blank. I'm better with multiple choice. And you know what's funny is I got up at like 8:30 today, and if I didn't have to go to work, I probably would have gone back to sleep for another 3-4 hours. I don't know what's wrong with me. Getting ready for socks giving. Is that when you go and give homeless people socks? You're so good. Yeah, I never got into the Batman animated. Justine, they're like a take with food kind of thing. Most pain pills are. You're supposed to take them with food, otherwise you get too high. But I took them with food and I still got way too high. Entirely too fucking high. And then, you know, what do they call it? Dope sick. I guess. But a lot of people get an upset stomach from opiates, but I've never been that person. But I am now, apparently. So here you go. I did say that, right, Matt? Yeah. See, people think I don't know shit about sports, but I know a little bit. You need them to show the map of red and blue. Well, and that's the thing right now, Justine. The map is showing like the light pink and the light blue because as someone takes a lead, they kind of like shade the state, but it changes a lot because they're shading the state with like 5% in. So you really can't look at those and you know, count them. Although they are going pretty quick here. Let's see. Oh yeah, see. No, we're still pretty low. Yeah, we're still very low on reporting numbers, and it's hard to like. Yeah, it's just not good. It's not good to sit here and worry about something when you're looking at a color with an 8% count. You know, let me know when you got like an 80% count if I should look at that color. But I think it's just bad. Hey, Israel. I don't have Discord, bud. Sorry. Maybe I'll get Discord. You know what? Yeah, Colin, I'm not super into muted news, you know? I'm just going to check, do like a spot check for anything that's like pink or light blue, which is what I just did. I just looked, and a lot of these smaller red states are in. But a lot of the states that haven't called but are shaded are barely reported. Most of them are under 50%. So it's just, you know, it's one of those things where it's probably bad to watch these results come in as they come in. Funniest story about a time with the dudes in Green Day. Oh, Jesus, that's easy. Fucking last month. I got Green Day coming up too. So last month when we were in San Diego for their last show, they had this party. I got my ears pierced at the party. Can you see my right there? Ear pierced. And they were doing tattoos too, but I didn't want to get any place tattooed that was visible at that point. Like I might have seriously considered getting the tattoo like on an ankle. But because somebody once told me, somebody very wise once told me that you don't get a tattoo any place that you can lose or gain weight. Because what happens is you've got a solid line, right? But then you gain some weight and then you lose some weight and then you gain some weight and then you lose some weight. And now that solid line is a blurry blob. So, anywho, I got pierced. I didn't get a tattoo. We had a great time. Ooh, hang on. I got to do this. Speaking of Green Day, I'll talk about you guys. It's the Bay Area's own Green Day on the Rock of the Bay. I'm Nikki Blakk, just reminiscing on the live stream about last month when I went to the last Green Day show in San Diego and got silly stringed. It was kind of crazy. The Lindas and Green Day had been pulling pranks on each other. And Green Day, during Linda's set, was doing the Cars for Kids commercial. Like they broke into their set with both the PA audio and the video and would just kept dropping Cars for Kids commercial drops. It was hilarious. But then at the very end of the night, we don't think anything is going to happen because it's so late and I'm almost out the door. But I'm talking to Billy Joe and Mike Dirnt, and we're talking about 107.7 The Bone actually being one of the last local radio stations with all local live DJs. And the Lindas came in and smeared us with silly string on the spot. I've got it on video. I'll see if I can post it up for you guys. It was hilarious. Okay, let's see what's that one. Okay. Anywho, so that was hilarious because I mean they blasted us. I was like, oh, comma, I know, ... I just think it's hilarious that the family comes to me for that when they could go to him because no one goes to him. Sorry, my cousin. So yeah, we were drenched in, I think I've got the video. Let me see if I can get the video up. The funny thing is that I didn't take any video at the time because my friends were leaving and they were already literally like out the door and halfway to the street. And I was just like about to say goodbye. And then we got silly string bombed. And I was like, oh my God, they're like leaving without me. I have to go. I'm staying at their house. And I should have like stopped and been like, okay, we need a picture like nowsies, but I didn't. So I had to wait for somebody to turn up with the video. Let's see. It should all be geotagged San Diego, right? Even if it's not mine. No, that's not it. No, maybe it's not tagged. I'm listening to myself tell the story again. Maybe it'll be under videos. This is the problem, right? I have all this stuff and then I can't find it. This was before Aftershock, right? Right, because it was the end of September and that was mid. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Is it in here? Oh, here's me getting pierced. Oh, here's the actual piercing. Don't be if anybody's squeamish, don't watch this because it's about to happen. Pop. That was funny. Let's see. Oh, this was Billy Joe's version of the video. Will it play? Play video, play. Oh, there it is. So when he started filming this, I was standing behind Mike. You can almost see me you can actually see me like in the reflection of the mirror. But I swear the Linda Lindas or somebody else posted it and I got a better video. Oh, there it is. That's me right there. Yeah, just completely blasted with silly string. It was hilarious. Oh, is this it? No, this is the first piñata. Hold on. This is the one. Okay, so before that even happened, I got pelted in the eye with piñata candy. Like right when he kicked that thing, you can see me in the background just like being all like, ah, because I got piñata candy in the eye. Yeah, comma, I might be down for that. Comma, shoot me some dates, question mark. Ooh, Yellowstone is coming back. I'm listening to commercials right now. So yeah, that would be the funniest time with the dudes in Green Day. Jeff Tate is working on Operation Mindcrime 3, and Queensryche is going into the studio soon. Next year. I think I want to say they said March. But yeah. The A's no longer have Oakland in their name. That is sad, Dan. I think we've all kind of just closed the door on the A's for now, right? The A's are now the Raiders. They used to be ours, but we broke up. We're trying not to be bitter about it, but we're not ready to move on. Harry, you had a hernia surgery Friday morning and they gave you hydrocodone? Ooh, ow. Yeah, well, I mean, apparently that just... Jason, what's up? I mean, I guess it just depends on how you react to it. I used to react totally normally. Like, I would take one hydrocodone and it would be fine. And the pain would go away and I would be awake and able to do things for the entire rest of the day. Well, I found out the hard way yesterday that is no longer the case. So no more of that. PJ, you thought there was no erection talk. I don't know what you're referring to. So, okay. Until the West Coast hits, the South is really red. Yeah, the South is tragically red. It's also low in most of the educational categories as well. Which is a shame. You're just too lazy to turn the TV off, Colin. I don't blame you. The first thing I do when I come in here is turn the TVs off, though, because the flashing in the corner bugs me. It's always in my peripheral, and we have a lot of windows in here, and there's a lot of glass in here. And when the sun goes down, all the glass and windows become reflective. So if there's a TV screen on, you know how the lighting changes in the TV screen with commercials, and the screen will go black, and then it'll come back on to whatever's next and stuff like that. So it's just this constant flashing, and it gives me migraines, or it exacerbates migraines that I'm already having. So I turn it all off. What am I doing later tonight, Justin? I'm going to bed. I know. Crazy, huh? I am going to go to bed early. because I'm pretty sure they're not going to call it tonight. And I'm going to wake up and see what it is. Like I said, I'm hoping for the best, but vaya con Dios for all of us at this point. We've done what we can do. I mean, honestly, if it's the worst that happens tomorrow, I don't even know what I could do. So I'm going to take a tip from the alcoholics and accept the things I cannot change the things I can. PJ surfers are crazy. Yes, they are. Well, you know what? Actually, a wetsuit can kind of keep you that warm, especially once you're in the water, because I'm pretty sure, because I've been surfing in the dead of winter, not at 8 a.m., but I have surfed in January, and it's really cold. But once you get out there, once you're like paddled out and adjusted, it's fine. It gets hard if you get dunked, because I don't like to wear a hood. So when I get dunked, it's like getting brain freeze all over again. But other than that, it's fine. And the gloves and the booties make a big difference. I have gloves and booties, and that makes a thick, like a 5'4" wetsuit. So, and I don't have the wetsuit with the zipper, right? So I have the wetsuit that is basically like birthing yourself every time you get in and out of it. Oh, my sticker came off. So yeah, it's actually not that bad. But then once you get out, that's when it's torture, right? Because you're out of the water, so you no longer have that kind of like submerged, because the wetsuit keeps like a layer of water around you that your body heats up. So you're kind of having this like insulated water around you. But once you get out of the ocean, then it's freezing, and it's a race to get to the car and then to try and peel yourself out of this suit that is like stuck to you and freezing. And at that point, you've been paddling like crazy, so you've got no arm strength, and you're like yanking yourself out of this wetsuit while the wind is like blowing and it's like icy cold outside. Now that is crazy. Sometimes if I don't have the strength, I'll just sit in my wetsuit in the car with the heater on until I feel a little better. But most of the time, you just got to get out of that suit and put on dry clothes, and then jump in front of the car heater with everything on blast. Feels weird that it's 6 p.m. but 5 p.m. Maybe to you, Justin. I could go to sleep right now. Apparently I could sleep all day yesterday and every night this week. Hey, Lance, what's happening? Silly string is always funny, right? I love band pranks. I really do. It's absolutely hilarious. Can I play you some Green Day? Literally just played the Green Day. Did you hear it? I hope. Yeah. Anyway. And the Raiders are terrible. Well, that's what happens when you leave Oakland. You suck. That's karma. Harry, you were in where just over 2 hours? I missed. Oh, the surgery. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter how long you're in surgery. I mean, unless you have a really long surgery, then it's like extra traumatic. But all surgery is just body traumatic, pretty much, I think. Am I going to be at the Joe Bonamassa at Civics? Yeah, no, I don't do San Jose really, Golan. Sorry. San Jose is like at least 90 minutes for me without traffic. What am I hoping for? I'm hoping for not Donald Trump. I'm hoping for somebody who's going to make sane decisions for the Supreme Court for the next 4 years. Stuff like that. I'm hoping for somebody that knows what the two-state solution is when it comes to Israel and Palestine, not somebody who gave Netanyahu the American embassy in Jerusalem for free last time. So, I've got issues that I'm hoping for. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm having a hot flash or if like the heater just came on. But also, I should have heard from Chasta by now, and I haven't. Hang on one second. Hey, comma, are we good to go? Question mark. No worries, comma, all done. Comma, no email, exclamation point. Okay. One more second. I just got to print. No. That's not what I meant. That's what I meant. Okay. Okay. My ankle bracelet. You funny, PJ. You funny. All right, let's see. Hey, Kevin. Thanks, Lance. Fingers crossed your state comes through for us. You guys must have gotten hit hard by the political ads. It must have been exhausting. I mean, in California, it was not much because they were like, we know how you're voting. We don't need to spend money here. And we were like, thank you. Although also as a radio station, I'm sure the company was pretty bummed that they weren't spending a lot of money here. But did you see Clear Channel Radio is laying off hundreds of people? They're like, well, it's less than 5%, and we've got 10,000 people. And I was like, 5% of 10,000 is 500 people who are about to lose their jobs because a corporation has mismanaged things. And I mean, it's the holidays, folks. This is the thing, right? We need to come up with some kind of a new system because the corporate fiscal year ends. And every November, a ton of people get fired because a corporation needs to shore up their stock value for the next for the beginning of the fiscal year. And it's well, it's rough. And it happens a lot in radio. And it happens in concerts now because concerts are owned by corporations. I have a friend who got fired by Live Nation recently. Laid off. I mean, what's the difference, right? whether you get fired because it's your fault or fired because it's not your fault. You know what, Kevin? I hope you're right. But at this point, I can't take anything for granted because it's been eye-opening. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with the yellow journalism. Oh no, don't worry, Kevin. Chasta got right back to me. We're good. But the yellow journalism scandal of the late 1800s was because a handful of, back then, what were millionaires, but what would be billionaires now, owned all the newspapers. And they basically started having their own little disinformation war. And the propaganda pushed the United States into the Spanish-American War. And it got so bad, we literally went to war over this disinformation. Like, people just didn't know what was real. Sounds familiar, right? So we went into the turn of the century last century in this yellow journalism scandal. And the only reason it ended was because a couple of those billionaires grew a conscience and realized how terrible what they were doing was for the country. And they stopped doing it. I think we can all see that, like, there's no way Elon Musk is going to see that what he's doing is terrible, because it's been pointed out to him multiple times. Corporations cannot see that what they're doing is terrible, because corporations have no conscience. Corporations have one goal, and that is to maintain their stock value. And we have, and then in 1996, they relaxed the ownership regulations for broadcast entities. Before, if you were one company, you were only allowed to own a certain number of TV stations and radio stations in a given market. And I want to say it was like 3 or 4 TV stations and like 5 or 6 radio stations. And then they changed that and doubled it, basically. So all these corporations were able to own tons of communications centers, because that's what TV and radio is, right? And then I forget what year it was, but a few years back, they alleviated the rule, the FCC rule, that required a physical presence in every market. So corporations who owned all these different stations around the country no longer had to have an actual presence in the market. They could close up shop and just simulcast stuff from elsewhere in the country. So that consolidated even more, right? Because at least if there was a person in Poughkeepsie, there's a person in Poughkeepsie who's like, I live in Poughkeepsie. I know what issues of the day are important to people in Poughkeepsie. But now there doesn't have to be a person in Poughkeepsie, because there could just be an antenna in Poughkeepsie that rebroadcasts something that's coming from Kansas City. So the scary thing is that we basically started the new millennium in the same place we were last century with the yellow journalism scandal, but without anyone growing a conscience to stop it. No, PJ, I'm not telling Chastity you said hi. You know how to reach her. Tell her you said hi yourself. Now you just root for anyone to beat the Patriots. Well, Dan, you're not alone in that. You don't watch any sports anymore? I got to be honest, Kevin. Sports are getting tough. Hey, Mike. You heard you used to work for Clear Channel? Yeah. Well, Clear Channel was the original, man. Or iHeart, as they prefer to be known now. And Tracy, you keep getting texts from local politicians. Oh, Jason, can't you just reply with stop? I actually unsubscribe to like everything. I intentionally go through and I like, oh, where's your unsubscribe link? Unsubscribe. And I type in my email address and whatever it is I got to do, because I am not having any of that. Anytime I get a text from somebody I don't recognize, stop. Not having it. Oh, have fun at the gym, PJ. Get some sleep. Hi, Chew. Look at you showing up late, but happy to see you. Jason, if you're in a union, you're laid off, they have to offer you the job back first, or you can sue. Actually, Jason, I think that that's true in California as well. But you know how they get around it? Change the job title. Change the job title, and then always they change the responsibilities, right? Because what they do is they eliminate your position to fire you. And then they recreate a new position, and that position encompasses your duties and another job. So they lay off 2 people and then hire 1 person to do both those jobs, and they get away with it because it's technically a new position with new job responsibilities. Fucked up. I tell you what, Mike, anything owned by a corporation is a dog-eat-dog business nowadays. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Hang on, guys. I think let me get this sponsorship in here before I don't want to risk missing it. Okay. Some people's livers get more of a workout than others. Your Lamont and Snelly Laughter at After is sponsored by UA Local 38 Plumbers and Pipefitters Union in San Francisco, Marin, Sonoma, Mendocino, and Lake counties. Learn more at ualocal38.org. I hate that thing. Stop. You know what's crazy though is a friend of mine was working locally for a corporation here, and the corporation was also had a presence overseas. And even though her position was here, the position was technically in England. And in England, they have so much better job protection than we do here, just out the gate, right? Because employers don't have to provide healthcare for them because the healthcare is provided by the government. So they've got the National Health Service already. And if you want to lay somebody off, you have to give them 6 months notice that you might be laying them off. Six months. It's crazy. That's the, yeah. And so they were, am I hitting the Frolic show on Sunday? Oh no, Mark, I'm going to be in San Diego this weekend. Sorry, bruh. Frolic though, crazy. Is it a memorial? We just lost somebody from Frolic, right? Everything's a fucking memorial these days. Doesn't it seem like it? I didn't make it to the memorial on Saturday night either, for which I have to apologize and feel guilty for because, well, as you know, I initially thought I couldn't make it because I thought I was going to be taking my mom to my nephew's play in Pacifica and I was going to be driving all over the place. And then when I found out I wasn't, I just decided I was not going anywhere this weekend. And it turned out to be a really good thing that because apparently I really needed a lot of sleep this weekend. So much sleep. Yeah, it's kind of a never-ending fight with the spam, Jason, I promise. But if you're super diligent about it for like a month, you will finally start to notice a reduction. I mean, because I have to. I mean, I have multiple email addresses, and so many PR companies just attack me all the time, you know, and they'll just hit me over and over for the same shit. It'll be like, hey, did you know our band is coming to town? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And they're like, but did you know our band is coming to town? And I'm like, I know. But our band is coming to town. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Do you have to email me twice a week for 2 fucking months? Yes, I fucking know. Now I'm not going because you pissed me off. But I can't delete those because they're record labels and they're just doing their job. But if I unsubscribe to the record label, then when they have something I need, I won't know. So I have to like delete a shit ton of spam from them before I get to the actual news. And because I have to have so much spam from PR companies and record labels, anything else has got to go. Like, I don't have space for it. I have one email at work, and I don't know who sold it out, but as soon as I started working, I started getting massive like PR emails from it. And I'm like, is Cumulus selling my email address? Like, who sold my fucking email address through Cumulus? Because I give it to no one. And I unsubscribed to everyone. And then it turned out that I was on some kind of a PR company list who sells their list to other people. So all these PR people sign on to this one big company for their list. And the PR company used me as like a targeted personality for like everything. Like, they clearly didn't give a shit what I was actually targeted as, because I started getting like all of the dumbest ever, authors and stuff. It's like, so-and-so just wrote a book about how gumdrops change your life, kind of thing. It's like dumb shit. And I was like, got to get off of all of your lists. And there would be people who I would be like, hi, this is the 12th time I've asked to be removed from your list. Can I please be removed from your list? And then they're like all apologetic. And then I'll get another one like a month later and I'll be like, hi, how many times do we need to have this conversation? Please take me off your list. I was nice about it. I'm still being pretty nice about it if you know me. But yeah, I can't. Dan, you can now legally serve alcohol. I don't see how that benefits anyone but you. Oh, it's a fundraiser on Sunday? Oh, bummer. I got to miss it. Oh, Justine. I love gumdrops too, but that's actually just an example I made up. I don't think there's actually a book out there about gumdrops. Although, actually, there are so many books out there about dumb shit. There probably is at this point. Yeah, it used to be telemarketers sharing their lists, Jason, but now what it is companies who don't share the list, the companies send the emails for you. So what the PR person does is they subscribe to this company who has the master list. And then they go in just like Meta, right? They go in and they're like, here's my press release. And I'd like to target, childless cat ladies between the ages of 35 and 55. And then the PR company goes, not a problem. We've got so many childless cat ladies between the ages of 35 and 55. Let us just create you a list of hundreds of people, right? But she has no way of knowing if those hundreds of people really are childless cat ladies between 35 and 55 because she doesn't see the list. She only submits all the information to the company and then the company sends the list. So the PR people subscribe to the company. Right, Amy? 100% take me off your fucking list. And I do it nonstop. And I'll tell you, my work email, ever since I went on a tirade because I was emailing everybody back. I'm like, how'd you get this email? How'd you get this email? Anybody who kept emailing me over and over. If I just asked to be taken off and I was taken off, then that was fine. But the people who like repeatedly were just like nonstop offenders, I'd be like, how are you getting my email? Like, what is going on with this? And each one would be like, oh, I use this service. So I had to call up that company, which was really hard to get a hold of. And, I had to go through and send a bunch of emails and make a bunch of phone calls. And like, it took me months before I finally got through to somebody at this company to take me off their lists. But then they did. And now I got one email today. And it's the first one I've had in weeks, probably 2-3 weeks, which is like years in spam time, right? Hey, Miguel, how's it going? It is getting kind of late. I'm probably going to have to tap out here pretty soon. Let's see. Oh, boy. Huh. Wow. So, okay, sorry. I know I wasn't going to talk about the election, but Indiana's only got like 36% reporting and they've already called it for Harris. Indiana? Oh, no, that's Illinois. Sorry. Illinois, still. I mean, it's got Chicago, but outside of Chicago, it's pretty red. I'm surprised. Chicago must have enough people to carry the state. Yeah, Indiana's still super red. Super bummed about Ohio, though. All right, I'm not looking anymore. Get me off this page. Jade, get me off this crazy thing. Thanks, John. Nice to see you. Time change. You've been going to bed at 7:30. I'll tell you what, Amy, I am not mad at that. Even though we fall back. So I guess if you're going to bed at 7:30, it feels like 8:30, but yeah. I don't know that you would call it Chasta's favorite state, Jason. You could call it her home state. I don't know. I actually haven't said what asked. Oh, are you talking about New Orleans? Because that's a city, not a state. I'm pretty sure she's not. I'm pretty sure Slidell is not one of her favorites. You know what I'm saying? Because I as well love New Orleans. And it's been a bummer not being able to visit for a lot of years. But yeah. Although, yeah, and see, and that's the thing, right? They're calling it, but it says 2% reporting. But I guess Trump is so far out ahead with 70% of the vote in Louisiana. Jesus, Louisiana. Where the fuck is New Orleans? I don't know. I mean, again, taking a tip from the alcoholics, accepting the things I cannot change, but really fucking disappointed at the amount of people that clearly don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I was watching it online. So many people just had no idea what they were saying. And then when you provide them with like actual sources of information that are legit, they're like, "Oh, that shit is libtard. Brr, can't believe that. Here, watch this guy on the street in a random YouTube video asking questions." I'm laughing ironically because it really is a tragedy and it's going to be the downfall of, American society at this point. Yeah, I hate time change as well, Justine. I don't know why we're doing it anymore. I mean, it used to be a farm thing, but it's not now. Hi, it's the bone. Yo, hello, hello. Okay. Never been to New Orleans? Aw. Oh, but you've been to Oklahoma? That's unfair. Sorry. New Orleans is way cooler than Oklahoma, from what I hear. I don't know. I mean, I've been to New Orleans a bunch, but I've never been to Oklahoma, and I feel like I'm not missing anything. Mike, you're always in bed by 6:30 or 7. You must get up at stupid o'clock. Ooh, sorry. Right, Amy? I mean, honestly, I think it's hibernation season at this point, and I'm just hibernating. Good luck, Rodney. I know job hunting sucks. If I get dumped, which is entirely possible, I don't know if Cumulus has had what's the let's see. Cumulus year-end reports. Let's see what our financial releases say. Financial releases, Cumulus, blah, blah. Oh, that's 23. Why do I care about 23? Here we go. Nope, this is also 23. What? Oh, for crying out loud. They make it really hard to find information on Google these days, don't they? Okay, Cumulus year-end reports 2024, obviously. Okay, let's see. Cumulus reported losses, but not big losses. So hopefully that means they don't need to fire anybody. But, none of us is ever safe. It's radio. I mean, somebody from iHeart was saying that they just signed an extension to their contract and then got fired. And apparently iHeart is going to be firing people all through next week, from what I'm hearing. And that just hurts, When radio is your career and you've been doing it for years and years and years, to lose a station is just, especially now, right? Because a lot of times now when somebody gets fired or laid off, there's just no job there anymore. Jobs rarely come back in radio. They just disappear. And somebody syndicated comes in for that job. Or somebody is voice tracking it from out of market while they're doing another job. So that is rough, Dan's got a pizza coupon. That's gonna help him get through. Actually, pizza sounds good. You know what? I have this ravioli at home. Did anybody see my video? I made ravioli this weekend and I got leftovers. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh God, Rodney, the Joe Rogan podcast. What the fuck is up with Joe Rogan? I met him when he was still doing comedy. And he seemed like a perfectly nice, normal guy. And then he kind of hit a certain age. And I think we all know that like white guys hit a certain age. Most men in general hit a certain age and they can either go bad or go good. And he went bad. But he did it in that weird questioning way of like, I don't know, what does this mean? Because it seems suspicious to me. But then in the end, he tipped the scales all the way over into crazy town. And then he went full Trump. So, and how scary is this? Joe Rogan is like the most listened to podcast by men in the nation. I want to say they said he has like 38 million listeners or something insane like that. Like, that is like NBC in 1984 numbers. Okay. Like, what the fuck? That's like NFL numbers. Okay. That many people are listening to Joe fucking Rogan. Don't get me wrong. Joe's a nice guy, but he's not that smart. He's funny, but he's not smart. And he's high all the time. I mean, I know there are many functioning stoners out there, but Joe's not the guy we need teaching our nation, Yeah. I don't know what to say about that. That shit scares me, man. And before he was just like popular, now he's rich and popular. Oh my God, they paid him like 100 million for that podcast or something, didn't they? Hey Terry, how you doing? You spent summers in the city Shasta grew up in? What are the odds? Justine, you'd love to have the dessert that I have to try when in New Orleans. Pralines. Pralines. They're basically like caramel praline things. They're fucking delightful. Start my own radio station or podcast. Oh, thanks, Justine. I might. If I get shit canned, I definitely will. Just to have something to do in the meantime. And just to be fair, I don't have any reason to think that I will be any more than I have reason to think that I won't be. So don't think that I'm like trying to be like, oh no, I could get fired at any minute, because that's just the permanent state of radio. Anytime you work in radio, you could get fired at any minute. But at the end of the year is when a lot of people do. It's become this thing that happens at the end of the year. Sorry, one second. Okay. Oh, you got unemployment? It started quickly. If you're eligible for unemployment, you might be eligible for food stamps. And I learned during the pandemic that if you get food stamps, you can sign up for a whole bunch of stuff. And the food stamps will qualify you. And sometimes you just have to qualify for like a little bit of food stamp assistance. You don't have to qualify for like family of 4 food stamp assistance. You could qualify for like single person, because that's what I did during the pandemic. And then I ended up not using all of the money on my card by the end of the pandemic. But what I did was I signed up for like poor people's Amazon Prime. So my Amazon Prime is linked to my EBT card from the pandemic. And as long as I buy one thing every 6 months from that card, my EBT card stays valid, because there's no way to give the money back like at the end of the pandemic, right? I can't be like, oh, didn't spend it all, so here, take it back, you know? So what I do is I buy like a box of salt every 6 months on Amazon. And because Amazon knows that my account is linked to my EBT card, they just automatically keep giving me the EBT discount, because fuck Amazon. So if you were looking for that life hack, anybody who's fired, laid off, living on government assistance for a temporary period of time and thinks it's not worth it to fill out the paperwork, it's worth it. There's a lot of corporations and companies out there that frankly prey on people who get government assistance, by the way. Because as somebody who was on EBT during the pandemic, and not wanting to go out and hoping that I could buy things on Amazon and have them shipped to my house, that EBT eligible list on Amazon is garbage. Oh my God. It's like, here, buy Red Bull and Top Ramen noodles and soda and protein powder. Well, the protein powder wasn't bad, but like, it was like all energy drinks and Gatorades and snack foods and shit. Like, so I do not feel bad scamming Amazon, because technically I'm not scamming them. Technically I am eligible by their standards, and I just don't buy their garbage. But the fact that Amazon makes it really easy for people who are on assistance to sign up and have a cheap membership, and then only makes eligible to them to ship things that are bad for you and cost more, by the way. That box of salt I buy was like I want to say it was like $3.96 for a little box of kosher salt on Amazon, and it was like $2.97 in the store. So, just saying, Scamazon is what they really should be called. 1077 The Bone and Rush with the spirit of radio. I'm Nikki Blakk, and if you haven't read Geddy Lee's autobiography yet, I highly recommend it. And you might want to get a move on because he's got another book coming out. Although this book is going to be about his baseball memorabilia collection. So if you're deep into the baseball, then you're going to want to read this. And if you're not, well, I mean, it is Geddy Lee either way. Okay, enough about Scamazon. I got to tap out. Did anybody else have any questions I haven't answered? Oh, Jim, hi. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, and then not only did they kill KGO, which was, by the way, a full newsroom of talented people. Oh, Kat, you missed so much. Girl, I'm tapping out now. But now it's an empty room, right? Because now it's The Spread, which is a syndicated sports betting station. Sports betting, by the way, is huge. I did not realize it until I started doing the Prize Picks endorsement. And I was having fun with Prize Picks and stuff. I mean, I still am. Like, I'm not mad at Prize Picks. But I walk over to KMBR because I'm like, well, I got a bunch of guys over here who are like deep into the sports 24/7, right? And by the way, I'm just going to say that every time I've asked somebody at KMBR to help me with my picks, the picks have not hit. So I stopped asking them, but I do go over there and we talk sports all the time because I do want to be up on everything. But that's when I found out that they are all betting over there. I don't think there's any, I think there might be one guy who works at KMBR that does not have a sports betting, some sports bet action happening somewhere. It was eye-opening, which is apparently why they flipped KGO over to The Spread, because it's very expensive to run a news station. You've got to hire all those people to do the work, right? Whereas with The Spread, it's just a bunch of random sports betting personalities from around the country that are feeding a single network. So you've got maybe a dozen people, but their programming is on maybe 100 stations. So that's 100 stations that used to employ anywhere from, I don't know, 20 to 50 people across the country. And now those jobs don't exist. So that's what I was trying to talk about with the consolidation, the corporate consolidation of media after that 1996 relaxation of the regulations and rules. And then the fact that they don't have to have a live person or a physical presence in the market anymore. Yeah, I'll bet you The Spread is on in Poughkeepsie. Dan, you got assistance with PG&E? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can sign up for. Anybody who loses a job, the first thing you should do is stop, drop, and sign up for everything you can get because our tax dollars are paying for it. And I know that Gen X, we always used to walk around and be like, I never took unemployment. I never needed that shit. I always worked, blah, blah, blah. And it's true. We did. We all started working when we were goddamn teenagers and we never took help from anyone at all. And all of a sudden this hyper independence became like a badge of honor. And now it's like, wait a minute, why? Why would I not accept the help that I would give others and have given others and have donated to? Like, hell yeah, let's do this, you know? So, yeah. NPR does still exist. We did talk about Clear Channel, Kat, you missed it. But yeah, we talked about Clear Channel and the yellow journalism scandal of the late 1800s. Everybody just take a second to Google yellow journalism and that history.com link or the Google link or the wiki, you know, just get a quick skim of that to get the gist of it. And you'll see how deep we are in it right now. History is 100% repeating itself. And yellow journalism preceded things like World War I, World War II, the crash of 29. So yeah, this is the way history repeats itself. These are the things that we're supposed to be teaching so that we don't do them again, and we're doing them again. Where the fuck is Joe Rogan to tell people this? What's he out there talking about? Weed should be legal, man. Fucking Joe Rogan. To be fair, I have never listened to a Joe Rogan podcast because I don't have Spotify, because fuck Spotify. And I don't know. Yeah, right, Kat. We've all side hustled our days. It's been 30 years since I had only one job. You know, there was a brief point in time. Nope, there wasn't. Yeah. So exactly, Rodney. We pay for it. It comes out of our checks. We are entitled to it. And if we were in England or France or any European country, we would 100% be entitled to support. And not just full health care and not just employment assistance, but like a full safety net of support for most European countries. Job retraining if you need it, all kinds of things. So there's that. Oh, Kat, you're right. I don't want to know what Joe Rogan is talking about because he should not be a source for anything. I thought Snoop was bad. Oh, yeah. Did you find something new about Snoop? I haven't seen anything since since that pre-Olympics thing that he did, but yep. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people on my shit list, and my shit list is going to get a lot longer tomorrow morning, regardless of how this turns out. But I'm just hoping the best and that everybody, take deep breaths and be kind to each other because we are all going to need to support each other in the coming years, especially with recent Supreme Court rulings being the way they are. And if Donald Trump gets in the White House again, then Clarence Thomas will retire and he will appoint another judge. And that will be what? Jesus. So many judges that one man has put on the court. It's not the way our system was designed. It's not the checks and balances we're supposed to have. So, all right, guys, take care. Get some sleep. Hope for a better tomorrow. You know what, Dan? I was mad as hell in 2016, and now I'm just exhausted. Take care, guys.